No Man's Sky is the indie star child AAA wannabe, following the footsteps of other AAA studios by promising things they can't possibly deliver. This is the Salt Factory. I'll start off by saying I have a bias towards this game, and that bias is of difference. It's not necessarily towards the game at all, actually, it's more towards the studio themselves, Hello Games. So how do I explain this without needlessly overcomplicating it? Since 2014, when No Man's Sky debuted at Jeff Keighley's Video Game Awards, it received nothing but praise for what it promised. The promises continued from 2014 to 2015, and up to the release in 2016. These promises weren't just from the developer's mouth, they were from footage we had seen over and over again that showed us things in the trailers that would never see the light of day to the consumer version of this game. There were so many assets, so many events, and so many functioning parts of this game that were not in the final version we received. Graphically, the game changed very little from press events to release, except for some minor pop-in issues and weird anti-aliasing, but I'm not really going to hold that against them considering they fared far better than most AAA studios from a trailer to the final release, Ubisoft. Now, before I completely dismantle this game and Hello Games as a developer, and why you should never trust them again, and to follow Total Biscuit's line of thinking, stop pre-ordering games, I need to say this. There is nothing wrong with enjoying this game. If you feel you've gotten your money's worth out of this game and you are happy with your purchase, there is nothing wrong with that, and this video is not for you. Move on to the next part of the internet. But before you do, I simply ask that just because you do enjoy the game and feel you got your money out of it, does not mean you have to defend the actions of a developer who have consistently lied to the consumer base for unknown reasons. You cannot deny, because we have video evidence, that the features shown in trailers and promised by Sean Murray are largely absent. The discrepancies between the trailers and the final product are pretty startling. It's almost as if they had two different versions of the game built in the same engine with relatively the same art style and some vague similarities. Now again, to be completely clear on this, is this game worth $60? This is an opinion. This is an opinion I'm not stating in this video and that I cannot make for you. Opinions are different. What should not be different, because it is not an opinion, it is a fact. The No Man's Sky we were shown and the No Man's Sky we received are two different games. We were lied to with trailers and interviews. There are far too many missing features to sum up in a single video because it would take an hour to go over them all. But Angry Joe did a pretty great compilation of a lot of the missing features in his review, most of the major ones I think, and a Redditor made a great post some time ago highlighting over 30 major missing features from trailers and interviews we were told about. That post has been taken down by himself along with his account deleted on Reddit because of the pure amounts of hate and threats he received in messages, which created a lot of stress and responsibility. If you're not used to that sort of thing, I can completely see why you would delete your account to stop this harassment. The biggest issue out of all of this is that people defend Hello Games. Now, let's pretend No Man's Sky doesn't exist for a second. Let's call Hello Games Developer X. Developer X shows you a trailer of their game with 12 maps and a ton of multiplayer progression features. The game releases. The game only has 6 maps, not the promised 12, and not even half of the multiplayer progression features that you were shown. Developer X gave no warning to their consumer base that this is how the game would be on release. Developer X does not tell anyone that these features will come at a later date, or not at all. Developer X gives no reasoning or explanation as to why these features are missing. After launch, Developer X goes quiet, fixing a few bugs with some patches, and is not heard from some time. Developer X never directly addresses these issues with any clear, concise answer. Would you buy from Developer X again? Intelligent consumers would say no, even if they enjoyed the game for what it was. The next time Developer X makes a title, there could only be one big feature that sells you on the game, and if that feature is completely missing from the game when released, then you have basically bought a lie. For those of you not following along, this is exactly what Hello Games did with No Man's Sky, and for those of you defending them, you're part of the problem. You're adding poison to the well, you are drinking the Kool-Aid, you are the sheep with the wool pulled over their eyes. This is something we cannot tolerate from developers, whether it's the game of the decade or not. If we allow one small indie studio to lie to us and deliver a feature-incomplete game that is starkly different from what we were sold, then how do you think AAA developers will look at this situation? They'll think the consumer base are a bunch of idiots, and they can treat us however they want. If we allow a small 13-man indie studio to get away with this, what do you think a multi-billion-dollar publisher is going to do to us? EA, Activision, 2K, they've certainly tried to take advantage of us before in the past, and we pushed back. They relaxed some, and after seeing this, they know as long as they have our love for a product, whether it's a lie or not, they can do whatever they want to us and will defend them. A piece of the population will be beside them, yelling back at the other half that does not want this to happen again. And that's the biggest issue with No Man's Sky. This is the reason you should not defend this game. That you should not just let it slide under the rug. At the start of this video, I said that if you enjoyed this game and have no issue with it, then this video isn't for you. But I guess that's a lie. Because the person I wanted to convince here was you. The person that hates this video, the person sending the death threats to the Redditor with a long list of missing features, the person that dismissed all of the lies and allowed misconceptions from the developer, the false marketing, and the fake interviews. The person that dismissed all of this and says, you just don't like the game. This video was for you to try to change your ideology on the subject. But most of you probably tuned out at the 5-minute mark and started shitposting in the comments, so I'm wasting my breath. No, No Man's Sky is not worth the $60. That's another lie. I'm stating my opinion. I'm Guns. I hope you enjoyed the Salt Factory.